Nigeria 2015 is still up and running, and a whole lot has been discussed. I can make this very easy for you if you have any of the devices with you. Look at what you do. Go to the market. They call it the Android market or even the App Store. Well, just install, well, the Channels TV app there, and all you need to just swipe and go to the Eyewitness platform. There is all a DIY thing for you, and just upload that picture or even a very short video. Well, and for those who are trying to get to us, if you are not on Facebook and a couple of other places, yes, we have the email address for you, Nigeria2015@channelstv.com. And on Twitter, the hashtag, don't forget, is Nigeria2015, and the hashtag Nigeria2015. Now, coming home, we have a couple of other comments that we would love to share with you, as well as those pictures you just saw earlier on from all geopolitical zones of the country. People have been commenting, and for the international community, the International Observer, they say, well, so far so good, it is credible, it is okay, and they're looking to having, well, a fantastic outcome of this particular election. But again, we'll be looking at that as we move on. Joining us from our Abuja studios is Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, who's the Senior Researcher, Center for Democracy and Development. Good morning, and thanks for joining us, Professor.
Good morning.
Okay, we'll get back to you on this particular one. And of course, we also have Captain Umar Aliyu. And of course, we have Dr. I'm trying to remember. Remind me, I'm lost here. Abiola. Yes, because I know. I'm trying to get the other one before the last one. Akiode, because I remembered how you put me through all of that, that I should put the Y, Akiode. Okay, well, good to have you again join us this morning. But looking at what has been happening here, basically, you just recall that comments coming in from across the country, and you with your team have been around here in Lagos specifically, and you are the coordinator here in Lagos of the TMG, Transition Monitoring Group. Okay. And what has been your findings so far, knowing full well that in a couple of places, elections held yesterday here in Lagos?
Well, I think generally by my assessment, because the TMG has not reported the, I've not given out a formal report, but my assessment, I think we're about 65% okay. On Saturday, a lot of things worked well. The security arrangement was very okay. We had some hiccups here and there, late arrival of materials. There was also some pocket of violence here and there. But generally, I would also agree with the international observers that in general we can say that the election was fine.
And Captain Aliyu?
Generally, yes, indeed, it was calm. There were one or two exceptional cases. But as we speak, we are approaching the tail end of the during aspect of the elections. So the before and the during have been managed reasonably well, and we are going to gradually dovetail into the after stage of the elections. The during stage of the elections will end immediately Professor Jega announces the results. Then we enter the last stage, which is the final phase after the elections.
Well, Dr. Bela, you talked about 60% of it going well. 60% of what?
In terms of participation, I think we had a good representation of Nigerian people. They were out there, they were ready to vote, which shows that we're actually ready to push the society forward, so which is good for elections. So people are determined, they are resolute. They wanted a change, and they went right there to go and make to make their votes count. I also think that in terms of security arrangement, because if we look at 2011, we didn't have all that. Well, in almost all the polling stations, we had about 3 or 4 security agents, police, paramilitary there, standing in there to support and secure the people. We also had well, media coordination was also good. So in general, I think that if you look at yes, there were issues with late materials. There were-
Given all of these people, the voters, you're given, I mean, assuming we're looking at the 100%, which will also include INEC's conduct in terms of logistics and the security arrangements, the conduct of the voters, generally all around, you're saying that this is 60%.
Yes, and the 40% is about, well, INEC not doing well enough, and I think the chairman of INEC had actually come out to say, yes, I also agree that we didn't do well in some places. And when you look at some of those issues, the issue of the need for him to begin to look at possibility of outsourcing some of the, you don't have to do everything. It seems to me that INEC seems to have his hands full, running the issue of transportation for the election, ensuring that the materials get there on time. You know, they had problems with the NDRCW, they had some problems with the ad hoc staff. There were issues around the capacity of ad hoc staff, even to understand how to use the card readers, or even to be able to even give information to voters about what they should do if they had problems, or also the fact that before the election day, they've been advised that should in case the smart card reader is not working, what you should do is to look at, to use the manual register. You would have expected that they should use their discretion to do that, but they had to wait, and that led to people voting in the night and all that. So, and if from what the chairman of INEC said, just in 2% places, those are the places where the card readers didn't work. So if you put that and compare it to 2011, I think we have moved.
You've raised two issues. Sorry, Nyota. The issue of outsourcing, I think it's an issue that we'll come to much later. One of the lessons that we can draw from the polls. How possible, how feasible is that without causing a controversy? Yeah. And you've also raised the issue of the card readers. 0.25% INEC's figure. How believable was that figure for you, Captain Omar?
Well, if we look at the overall figure of PVCs, and we are able to capture the overall figures, I think it's around 120 to 150,000 card readers. And then we quantify the total number of, failed devices we had. We should be able to calculate the ratio.
He said 300. That's 300. What it translates to.
Well, I have a figure of roughly 400. But if we say 300, 400, that's given the overall figure. I think that's fair. But where I'm a little bit curious is during the test run, whatever faults popped up during election proper should have been detected, because I tend to wonder what manner of fault occurred on election day that wasn't seen during the test run. And I tend to lean my line of argument on, could it be possible the real fault of the card readers had to do with operation by the polling station, because I don't think all of them had hands-on
knowledge of how to operate them. Dr. Jibrin, I'm going to come to you now, our guest in Abuja studios. If you can hear me, I just want to know, do you think that we have exaggerated the story of the card readers not working as they should?
Definitely the story has been exaggerated. The information from INEC is that 315 out of 120,000 failed completely. That means less than 1% failed. I think the story of the card reader is largely a story of success.
So you would actually, you're not seeing a situation where we'll be caught in controversy if we're going to be using it for the governorship elections, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks?
Absolutely, there's no controversy over it, because you really need to look at the broad percentage. If over 99% of them functioned well, then it means they are very reliable. And out of those that did not function, there were simple issues, such as in some places they didn't remove the plastic film over the fingerprint scanner. That was a problem of lack of sufficient training, but I think it's now that we know what some of the problems are, it can be addressed easily.